Here's the difference, though, in Japan.
All right.
Yeah, in the United States, I've got to get myself to all these places,
Okay.
with the exception of like when when I started going to St. Louis, and St. Louis it's another old story about the influence of the Saint. It's kind of like if you went to St. Louis and you got over there in St. Louis, people were going to hear about you all over the country, and that's one of the things that helped me. But Japan, we didn't have to worry about anything but getting in the ring and having a match because everything else was taken care of. Our hotels were taken care of. All our transportation. I mean, they actually, we all got on a tour bus, you know, and maybe two tour buses, one for us and one for the other, for the Japanese guys. But and so we never had to worry about, all we had to do every day is we would look on the board, and they would have a time. And when we read the time, that meant kind of like, as it said 10 o'clock, that means we're leaving at 10 o'clock on the bus the next day. And so,
Okay.
yeah. And they, everything else was taken care of. And the only thing that we had to pay for in Japan was our food. So,
And the other thing I'm seeing in my research, and I'm glad you brought up the bus because, I'd seen some stuff about, the bus, and I was like, okay, I wonder what that experience was like as far as getting on a bus with a bunch of guys, and Japanese guys at that. Like, I wonder if it was fun. But here, what I saw was that during this tour, you're out there with the likes of Hanson and Brody, and Harley Race is going to be part of this tour at one point as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, is it kind of a weird question because you're traveling, it's work, but like, is it fun? Because it seems like being on the bus with a bunch of guys playing cards, drinking would actually be like a blast.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's when, I didn't get into the card game so much, but a lot of them did. I mean, that's how they passed the time. I'd get a book and read or something, but and every day was different. Some of the longer trips, instead of taking the bus, they would take us. We would just get in the bus and go to the train station. Now, I want to tell you something. You talk about a country that's got. I mean, they have what they call the bullet train,
Mm.
and this train goes. It goes 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
Or more, and so and occasionally, like if we went to another, obviously there's Japan is several islands, the main island, and then the one up north is called Hokkaido, and then I'm trying to think a couple of the other ones, but yeah.
So you would have to travel by boat occasionally then to get out to these other islands?
No, we would fly.
Ah, okay. This is like a little puddle jumper type plane.
Well, yeah, or yeah, no, commercial plane, they,
Really?
yeah,
Wow. Man, I mean, they pull out all the stops to make sure that you guys were comfortable and at home there. It sounds like a really kind of a great experience.
it really was, but you work, the wrestling was, kind of, some of the guys call it kind of like it was like it was stiffer. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, if you chopped a guy, man, you chopped him.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was snug, it was, I guess, but I mean, it wasn't, it was like, there was never anybody that I wrestled with and went, oh gosh, I don't want to work with this guy. He's terrible. They were all good,
I've heard you talk about Jumbo a little bit before, and certainly we've talked about Baba and how well he treated you, especially as your career was winding down and coming to an end. Did you ever become buddies with any of the other guys like Tenryu, Sato, or Kabuki?
I mean, I know, I knew all those guys. I mean, and we were all, there was nobody I didn't, like nobody like that I didn't like, and I seemingly got along with everybody, and so did most of the guys over there.